What's up, everybody? It's Josh here. Another beautiful day. Kids? You got kids? This one would, I guess, be for those who have kids who understand this, or I guess for those who even don't have kids who might have kids. But I spend most of my days picking up Cheerios and Legos. It's like no matter what I do, they get dumped out all over the kitchen floor. The Cheerios and the Legos end up on the living room floor, and somehow they all get picked up, but it's like a constant battle. And I was thinking, after a while it becomes smaller Legos and cars and toys, stuff like that. And then after a while longer, I have a 19-year-old, so it becomes dirty glasses and dishes and stuff, Like, where'd all the spoons go? Where's all the cups? And I remember when I was a teenager, I was bad, I'd always leave dishes in my room, and it was like, I guess we get our payback as parents, but it's not that bad, and that's it's like you grow accustomed to it. Those who don't have kids, or those who maybe had kids but it's been a long time, they might come visit and just be like, oh God, how do you do it, Like, the living room will be a complete disaster, and I'll be like, I cleaned it an hour ago. Or the kitchen floor, I mopped it last night and it's just filthy. I mean, it looks like a month's worth of grime if we were just, say, a couple without kids. And so you really learn to live with it and to tolerate it. But some parents, I guess, really get upset about the messes. And I want to reach out to those parents to say, just let it go. Just don't worry so much about it. I mean, I try so hard. I mean, even with the kids, the way I am, which is, I'm pretty open. Just let them do what they're gonna do. But it's like, please don't dump that out on the floor. And they'll dump 2 different tubs out and mix them up, and then not even play with them. And that's just what kids do. And or pour a big bowl of Cheerios for themselves, and then take one bite and leave it there. All of the weird things that we have to deal with as parents, raising kids and trying to get them to learn respect and learn to conserve and not waste food and not make messes, but without just freaking out on them, without spending every minute picking up behind them. I know some folks are clean freaks, and so it's hard for them to imagine life with messes all over, but sometimes it's just the way it is. I love my kids, I don't want them to remember me as, I guess what it is that when they're young, especially when they're a really young age, they're very tender in what they will absorb from, not the things you tell them, but the way you go about it. Like, especially before a kid can talk, and this is a major really important issue, because the first few years are the most important, and that's so they say. And it's generally true. I mean, it's very hard to break a kid. If a kid's been raised to like 4 or 5 years old in a very, very strict environment, it's going to be difficult to break away from that. That'll follow them for life. Or if they haven't had human contact for even a few months, it can cause devastating results. But kids that let's say, I don't know, the ones that are withdrawn, it tends to stem from problems with their youth, especially before they could even talk. And this is why it's like, we think that kids don't pick up certain things, and we know that they do. We know that their kids are absorbent, but let's say you're watching a violent movie in the background. Even a 1-year-old, 6-month-old will pick up on the intensity of the emotion in the room, or your vibration, who knows. But kids can sense your tone, so if they're young and you're trying to train them before they can talk to like clean up after themselves, and you're making them scared to make a mess, and you're making them like afraid to do certain things, then they absorb that and they carry that with them. And so I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like the old hot cold. You don't want your kid to touch something that's hot, but they're going to have to do it eventually before they're going to know what hot is. Then you can say hot over and over, and they'll avoid it. But it's the most complicated and difficult job parenting is. But like any other job, some people don't put all their time into it and don't really care. They let their kids run wild, and others are too strict, the exact opposite. And it's hard to find a good balance where you're just letting them grow and helping them learn at the same time. So, thoughts?